think we're live. We are back with NECC Week 2 League of Legends. Yeah. Um, CVCC will be playing Midway tonight, Midway College. I am your host, D Lodges, Coach D Lodges. I'm the assistant coach here at Catawba Valley Community College with my co-host, Jackie Pancakes.
The Jackie
The
Pancakes. What's
Jackie,
up,
the
guys?
myth, the man, the legend.
This is exciting, man. We're on to the second big series of the season, and we had a real banger in that first one. Uh, it looked like the boys were going to pull that one out,
It did.
but it ended up going the other way.
Yep.
So, looking for big things here. I know they've been practicing some unique picks, and they've been trying out some new strategies. And it looks like the opponent here is going to be formidable for sure.
No doubt.
So, I've had a chance here to kind of look at what they've been playing. And let's see if we can. Do we have the actual draft that we can pull up?
Let me see if I can get this link. See what it gives me. I think we're still waiting on both teams.
All right. Well, we definitely can get started with this little bit of information before we see where they go.
Yeah.
Maybe make some predictions about some of these picks.
Okay.
So I can see some contested picks already just in uh, what both teams are playing, and it looks like Maokai is probably going to be at the top of that list. Super strong pick, and Any Day played it last week in the top lane with some success, played it really aggressively. But it's been mostly chosen as support, and it's pretty much OP tier, top of the line support right now. And it looks like Midway plays a lot of Maokai, at least in these solo queue games that I'm seeing here, and they're recently played. So I expect that to be either contested or just straight up banned away. I would not be surprised to see that just absolutely banned to start with. Kled's another one I'm seeing a lot of, at least in recent games. Um, there's also some Illaoi, Rise, a couple champs like that are really like shooting out and saying like someone's going to be picking these or they're going to be banning it. Senna's another one that's probably near the top of that list. But we have so much diversity in the meta right now. You could play pretty much anything that you wanted to, anywhere that you wanted to. It's just there's a couple picks that really stick out. And I would say Senna is absolutely a strong pick. Maokai, absolutely a strong pick. Kled's not bad. Uh, Not sure exactly what's going to happen up there in the top lane because Any Day's been playing everything. Uh, Ever since his transition from last semester from the jungle to the top lane this semester, it looks like he's just not afraid to bust out anything he wants. He might have some really cool pocket picks that we haven't seen yet. Uh, would not be surprised. And if you look at his solo queue, you'll see that he plays all kinds of crazy stuff.
Do you happen to have like any surprise characters they may select?
So I can tell you some things that I think are a possibility. I don't have any unique knowledge and I can't give away a game plan, so that's the beauty of this, right? Is
Right.
my idea of a pocket pick is not going to give away the game here for the
Okay.
Hawks, but I can tell you that last week, whichever team ended up getting Vagar, and I believe he was first or second pick all three games, ended up winning the game. So I know that they realize that. And I can see here that the mid laner for Midway does play Vagar, and he's got a 67% win rate, strong KDA. He actually has a high win rate and strong KDA on a lot of different stuff. So I think that's going to be a big time contested pick. You're asking for a surprise pick? That's a really interesting question. I wouldn't be surprised because I know that Jackal also plays this, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Rise or Aurelion Soul busted out in the mid lane this game.
Okay. Well, it looks like both teams have already got started. It's like Catawba Valley. That's the selected Jinx.
Oh, is that up on the stream? Because I don't see it right now.
You don't. Mm, Let me see. Change the windows. All right. Do you see it now?
There we go.
All
Oh
right.
yeah,
That was
we're
my
well
mistake.
into it.
Sorry, stream.
Excellent. So look at that. The Maokai's banned away, the Kled's banned away, the Senna's banned away. We saw all that coming. I don't yet see a Vagar. That's an interesting turn of events here. But the Hui, excellent pick. Something that Jackal's been working on. Jinx is a classic. Amumu could go support or jungle here, so really interesting flex pick. Technically, Hui could be support as well. And nothing surprises me with any day in the top lane, so if he brought Hui up there, I would not be shocked. Swain, Poppy, Ashe, you've already got a really strong front line with an insane amount of CC. So you might be looking at an Ashe Swain bot lane. Poppy also jungle top, wherever you want to fit it in. Other bands, TF, really popular champ right now. The Set and the Ornn now banned away from midway. And it looks like Fiora Olaf. So the Hawks truly believe that Poppy's going to be in the jungle. And they're probably right. The Blitzcrank ban, probably a good idea.
Interesting.
Talia coming in, so that tells us, well, it doesn't necessarily tell us anything, but Talia is likely going to be the mid lane here.
Okay.
So more CC. Definitely a strong team fight coming out of midway here. And now it's going to be the Hawks' turn to show what they've been hiding. And the Nocturne pick is going to tell us Amumu is very likely the support here. And we've seen that from Hero before, so the Jinx Amumu, very aggressive lane. And Malphite up top. So I think Malphite into Poppy is a perfectly good, wet noodle fight. Nothing too crazy going on there. The Hui into Talia, that's definitely a skill matchup with all kinds of fun stuff that can come from that. And it looks like it's probably Ashe Swain into Jinx and Mumu here. And there's the Illaoi top. So even better. That's going to be Poppy jungle into the Nocturne and Illaoi into the Malphite. Huge front line from midway. And a lot of pick potential and engage coming out of the Hawks. So if I had to give an edge to either team, I'd probably have to give it to the Hawks here. I really like the comp that they've put together here. It looks like they're going to be very strong at sieging. Their team fight is going to be very strong. They are kind of level 6 dependent here. So it may be a slow early game for them. But their scaling is very strong too. Jinx scales to infinity. Hui is an excellent scaling champion. And on the other side, Illaoi is going to be a really ridiculous split pusher. And Swain support does become quite the menace later in the game. Yeah, I would say no real crazy picks coming out of draft here. Everything looks pretty standard.
Okay. I think we're just waiting on the teams.
Yeah, so I think we have a couple minute delay before the first game starts. And I'm excited. This is a really good draft from the Hawks here. It looks like they had a game plan coming in, especially with these bans. They went hard on top lane, as you can see, to get in a day a good matchup so he could pick that Malphite. And yeah, excited to see what happens.
Me too. It's gonna be an
So
interesting matchup.
So let's take a break until game one starts. Should be just long enough to go get a drink, and I'll see you back here.
We'll be right back.
My genius will be understood eventually.
A poor alternative. I reckon. Y'all want to think you was all yellow.
Fine. I don't need more enemies.
Hey, never pick a fight you can't win.
Oh, God.
Come on, I won't hurt you. I promise.
All right, and we are on the rift. The time has finally come.
Welcome to Summoner's
Looks like both
Rift.
teams are spreading out. Any cheeky level 1s?
30 seconds until
I
minions
don't think
spawn.
so. Unfortunate. Some of my favorite things in the whole game are level 1 invades with crazy wraparounds. And we didn't see any last week. We're not seeing any here. That's not to say they don't have some prepared. Maybe they just didn't want to walk into the first game and put it all on the line like that.
Can't show all your tech too fast. All your secrets too fast, can you?
Minions have
It's true. You
spawned.
don't want to show your hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't start a football game with an offside kick or an onside kick. You don't just start it out and say, "Hey, we want this ball."
Right.
You do it when you need to. And let's see where they're going to be starting. So Poppy definitely starting here on the blue. Looks like Zodiac's going to be starting here on his red. And both junglers are just going to be pathing to the top side, very likely. And when you have 2 melee champions up top, that's usually a pretty good idea. Not to say that this is going to be the most volatile lane. It's a bit of a wet noodle fight. There's some opportunities. I believe Iloe has a pretty big advantage early in fighting. If she hits the E, all could be lost. You could lose half your health in one exchange pretty easily. And here's the level 1 throwdown. But a good trade down bot. And there was that E. It looks like Iloe got level 2 first. And it looks like in the bot lane here, HMG and Hero got level 2 first. So one of the things to remember about these early games is these level 2 power spikes, in some cases level 3 or 4 power spikes, are a very big deal for wave control and being able to put the lane where you want it. So good poke, good shove. Jackal getting shoved here in the middle. And that's exactly what Talia does with her spammable Q. And I think Anyday's just happy to farm on his tower. So at this point, both junglers are making their way to the top. Anyday's low, but he may not be diveable low just, well, as soon as I say that, he's probably now within range. And it looks like Poppy's making her way over. And it looks like Zodiac and Poppy here have met at the scuttle. Oh! And the smite fight. And Zodiac's gonna have to flash. So one thing about Talia shoving in is she's got first dibs at rotations like that. And this is an all-in down bot. The ignite down on Jinx, but she's gonna survive. Good dodge by Anyday. And non-stop action here. Can't even focus on one lane because they're all throwing down. And here's the all-in, and unfortunately, Iloe's got quite an advantage early there. Those tentacle slaps really hurt, and they give her good heals too, so... Very nice. Swain misses, and he's gonna drop for that. So good gank down bottom. Looked like Swain had already full committed before that and got himself killed. So everything's tied up in gold. We got 1 kill apiece. Right here at the 5-minute mark. Very even. Jackal's going to take a back now. And he's managed to get himself a little CS lead even though he got shoved in over and over. So good job there. He's got the wave, it looks like frozen right in front of his tower. which actually means very little when you have these hard-pushing champs, but Wei can push back on the Talia. He just needs a little bit of mana to do so. His wave clear abilities and stuff are also pretty spammable. But Dragon's now on the map. The Void Grubs are on the map. Both of them warded out by Midway. We're very interested to see where Zodiac is going to show up here. And at this point, Zodiac is much more concerned about hitting 6, I imagine, than starting an objective. Both jugglers hanging out in the bot river here. And it looks like Poppy's wrapping around looking for something down bot. She's been spotted out. Gonna clear that pink. And luckily nothing doing there. So Any Day baited in again with the E. Very difficult situation to take out those tentacles, because if he doesn't walk in, he's still going to get pushed out of lane. So always in a kind of damned if you do or don't situation with the Eloy. Honestly, if he hits, it's just tragic. But neither jungler's 6 yet. Talia's in the river. And Jackal's just going to shove mid lane. Nothing doing there on the gank. So gold lead, very small for Midway at this point. And here we go again with the tentacle action. So Jack will be TPing back to mid lane here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Illaoi TP back to top. Just because if Poppy is going to start these Void Grubs. And there's the Talia TP. And if they get confirmation, which it looks like they see Poppy here, this is a good time for Zodiac to just go ahead and start this Dragon up. They've got the shove bot. They're going to probably have to give the Void Grubs on the top side here. I don't see how they contest that. Illaoi is going to lose that wave. And it's going to give Any Day a little respite to recall. So, good trade by the Hawks here. Obviously, if you give up all 3 of the Void Grubs at this point, you're going to have to get a couple of them on the next spawn. Or at least make sure that the other team can't get more than 1. But the Dragon trade is nice. I don't think they had much of a choice either. Malphite just ends up getting shoved in by the Illaoi. There's not much you can do about that. You could send a couple people top, but Illaoi doesn't mind a 1v2 or 1v3. Especially now that, you know, she's been 6 for a minute and she's just looking for one of those types of fights. So you give that one and you can test the next one. Oh! Big flash ult. In comes Zodiac. We got 1 down. Swain slowed. He's not going anywhere. That was an excellent play. And what a gold swing as well. So with that, there's pretty good likelihood that, yeah, they're going to stick around and go for this plate. Talia's coming in. That's unfortunate. Oh, she misses. HMG's got the fanciest feet here. Still, oh! What a good sidestep. Oh, good ult. And Illaoi's going to have to flash out. So Any Day playing that so well. Behold. And now he's just going to run him down. Oh my god. So how the tables have turned. The Hawks with a 1k gold lead now. Or close to it. just making some huge outplays around the map. You'd love to see it.
Lead our way.
So Zodiac in the right place at the right time. Any Day gave up the early kills, but then he turned around and took one back. And sometimes that's just how it goes. You get too aggressive up in the top lane, you start throwing your lead around, and before you know it, it's gone. So we've got very similar CS in the mid lane. A bit of a discrepancy up top, which we expected to see. And strangely enough, a huge lead by HMG down bot. I mean, that's several waves. And along with the kills, that's going to be a huge bot advantage going into this mid game. Any Day getting his soul snatched, but it doesn't matter. He's definitely getting tanky, and this sort of thing is a lot less harass and more just annoyance. Zodiac spotted out on the ward, but trying to relieve a little pressure, let Any Day get some farm up top. And it's just the same song and dance over and over. And the funny thing is, as long as Any Day gets the farm, if Ilui wants to walk in and get the tower shots, still pretty even trade. There's the double ult. And that's how you punish a really aggressive top lane pick like this. Now, obviously with both ults down, it's going to be a little harder with these objectives spawning. We've literally got a minute or so until Dragon and the second spawn of the Void Grubs pops up. But since they have killed the top laner, it looks to me like the Void Grubs might be for the taking here. And that's exactly what the Hawks needed. You really don't want to give up too many of those Void Grubs. Then again, Poppy is really interested in contesting here. Ilui taking a really mid-centric path. And it looks like the goal here is going to be to keep Zodiac off these grubs. Jackal's rotating over. And it looks like the taking has begun, so they can give up one of these. But they're going to have to throw down for the other two. And as you can see here, the Malphite ult not quite up. Poppy is going to go ahead and knock one out. Zodiac could just ult back in. And here he comes. And it looks like the Hawks could win this fight. Oh, it's so close. Now the question is... No, they did not get any of the Void Grubs, so Midway does get all 6 there, which is tragic. But you love to see it. Any Day deciding that this is the time that he wants to take out the Illig. And here's another big engage. Swain's kind of stuck. The Ignite did go down on Jinx, but I think HMD with the nice sidestep here, he can take him out. It's so close. But now Hero getting run down, he's going to have to flash. The W hits. That's a good flash. Looks like he can get them both. Poppy's looking, but can he find... Okay, he had the flash. But to say, at that point, all you gotta do is avoid the wall, but honestly, when you got 1 HP, everything kills you. But I'll take it. Fed Jinx is what you want. It doesn't get any better than that. Definitely the hardest scaler in this game. They're going to be relying on HMG's Jinx to hard carry later in these team fights. Also for sieging purposes. Fancy feat by Jackal in the mid lane. And the struggle continues for Malphite. Malphite's wave clear is not the worst, but he does have to walk into the middle of the wave to do it. And by doing so, he just gets beat up by the Illui. Luckily, he does not have to beat the Illui at all at this point. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do. He's keeping the tower alive. He's actually killed her a couple times. There's that really annoying E again, and it looks like she's going to take him out. Yeah. Unfortunate.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Talia ult coming in. Hero's separated from the team, but in comes Zodiac, and Jinx is free firing. The TP is coming in from Illui here, and they want this Drake. HMG has the damage, he gets excited. Can he trade another kill? Oh, so close. There's Any Day. And this is just a massacre.
Team double kill.
Chaos.
So a 4 for 4. The dragon does go over to midway here. The gold lead is now 1,000 gold in the wrong direction. So it is swinging back and forth. Now 1,000 gold at 17 minutes is nothing to get too excited about. Drake's being even is nice as well, but the 6 Void Grubs is where Midway has the advantage. So don't let the kills fool you. The gold being a little bit more important here. Now where is the gold? You've got 3 kills on the Jinx. And a very healthy 30 some odd DS lead. So that's a very fed Jinx. That's exactly what you want to see. I guess you could say top lane, they're pretty even. Mid lane, I'd give a slight advantage to Talia's power at this point, especially since she's got the Seraphs already stacked up. But that being said, Nocturne, no slouch, with 3 kills already and a completed item. I think the Hawks are in a good spot here. Before the game started, if you said at 18 minutes you're down 1k gold and tied on dragons, I don't think you'd be too unhappy. So there's the way ult. Jinx ult actually misses. Zodiac's in a weird spot. Jackal's gonna have to run. So this was a really big fight here just to get Shelly. And that's likely going to be used to drop mid and just crack that tier 1. Talia comes in. She gets the flip. And it does look like they're going to be dropping at mid here. So the Hawks are going to have to answer this. It might have to be Zodiac at this point. This tier 1's going to drop, and they're going to try to get a charge on the tier 2. You see all those little void lanes all over the place. Those little grubs come from being able to get all 6 there. So not a good turn of events for the Hawks. They're now down a few K. I would say somewhere in the realm of 2.5. They've lost their mid tier 1. The mid tier 2 is not very healthy. And Illui continues to split push here in the top lane. Jackal's walking in. I don't think there's much he can do here either, unfortunately. As you can see, without actually hitting him, he's lost half his health and he has to dodge tentacles for the next 10 seconds. They did pick up the tier 1 on the bot side. And they are managing the wave clear against Illui here. Would not be surprised to see another Zodiac and Any Day ult combo to take her out here, because she's super overextended. And it looks like Zodiac's making his way up there. Even Hero's making his way up there too, so they are determined to kill this Illui. she's just going to have to back off. Meanwhile, Dragon is about to spawn. Baron is on the map. I don't think either team is all that interested in the Baron just yet. But this next Dragon will be pretty strong. Once it goes 1-1, both teams realize the Dragon stacking concept is a bit out the window. But you always want to give yourself as many win conditions as you can. So it looks like Midway is gathering in the bottom side river here. They do have position on this spawning dragon. But Zodiac might turn off the lights here and look for a steal. Jackal on the far side. Talia's got to flash the wall. Lights go out. Zodiac's on top of her. Good flash. Jinx ult takes her out. Dragon's still alive. Zodiac's still alive too. Unfortunately, HMG's getting rooted. And they decide not to continue with this fight. Anyday's going to keep split pushing here. They're going to give this dragon. So pretty unfortunate fight there. And I think it just actually got worse, but the only trade I can see here is Anyday's going to get some damage on this top tower. For now anyway, Illaoi is abandoning the top lane, and Talia is covering it. Looks like she TP'd top just now. And the mid tier 2 finally goes down. So it's at this point in the game where Baron becomes a real objective. Both teams are going to want to get vision over there. And the Hawks really would like to see this mid tier 1 drop. In order to get good vision around the Baron area and for Anyday to split push. Or at this point, looks like Jackal's going to be sitting in the side lane here. But they're going to need to take out that turret. So once again, Anyday and Zodiac, they have the potential 2-man ult combo here. Illaoi not respecting it. And here we go. Jinx here as well. All they have to do is stay out of her ult. Now her tentacles are going to heal her quite a bit here. As you can see, raid boss Illaoi. Not easy to take down, but there goes the split push threat. Jackal with the sidestep. The ult. Oh. Couldn't quite match the damage here. Jinx ult flies in. So close. So good attempt. Looks like bot tier 1's going to be dropping here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And with everybody recalling, HMG might want to try to push this mid lane. Oh. Looks like Jackal's mouse died.
That's unfortunate.
Well, hopefully it didn't result in something bad happening, because sometimes that happens in the middle of a fight, and then I don't believe that we have the ability to rewind the game. Okay, excellent. Looks like it just died while he was doing something that... maybe it was while he was dead. The perfect time for your mouse to die, actually. Oh.
Not sure what's going on here.
So the pause might have somehow done something to this playback. Okay, excellent. So at this point, let's just take stock. We've got an almost 4k gold deficit for the Hawks here. They're down 1 Drake. They're down the 6 Void Grubs. Baron is on the map. But other than that, they've got good money on the Jinx. And I think the name of the game here has been just being outnumbered for the few team fights that they've been a part of. And picks in general. So they've been able to kill Illaoi a couple different times now. But all the resources that goes into doing that makes it really difficult to have anything left over for some of these other objective fights. And I wonder if we have another dead mouse here.
Two in one night.
Well, it looks like it's been unpaused. All right. So here comes what could be a Baron dance. You got support Swain sitting in mid, trying to keep these waves pushed. The Hawks do have vision. And the game just getting choppy this time. No pause. Good. So with Dragon spawning soon, both teams have got to be eyeing both sides of the map here. With the 3.5k gold advantage, Midway might want to bait the Hawks into a bad Baron fight. Or they might just come down here and try to take this dragon. Jackal's recalling here. He has teleport. This could mean one of two things. He could be looking for a teleport flank, and they might want to contest. Or it looks like they're just going to go for the Baron. And Midway has to respect this. They knew it was a possibility. As you can see now, Poppy's running up saying, if you start Baron, we're going to have to come up here and stop you. And the only problem here... Oh, and here comes the fight. Talia going to get deleted at the start of this fight. Zodiac in on the Ashe, and he's having to flash. Hero in the middle of 3 here. And Illaoi just tanked the entire team off to the left. So a bit unfortunate here. It looks like that's going to stop the Baron take for now, though. So they are going to go for the dragon. I think it's one of those plays you just have to make. I think you know that if you give up this dragon for nothing, and there's the Jinx ult to try to steal, but if you give it up for nothing, then you're not really playing to win at that point. And going for the Baron there was a really interesting idea. Obviously, they were looking to turn from the start. But that Talia wall, cutting the team in half, made it very difficult to fight. And Talia being the only person they could go on, it made sense. Unfortunately, as soon as Illaoi walks up, She's a lot tankier than Hero's Amumu. And here we go again. Time to throw down on Illaoi. She's making moves, but... Wow. You gotta love that champion. Can take on 5 people and almost kill one of them. Even with Flash and Zhonya's, whatever you have. That still takes her off the map, though, so the top pressure is gone for now. Relieved, if you will. Hero caught out here. He's gonna have to flash. Unfortunately, too much CC. So just difficult situation for the Hawks here. They've got to go and get vision. They don't have much of a choice there. And as an Amumu, the only way you check bushes is by throwing a bandage in there. Very good Jinx ult. Zodiac popping his as well. They want that Swain. Jackal's here as well. Do they have the damage? Fortunately, Zodiac's going to make it out with his life. HMG kiting for everything he's worth here. The Swain's going to go down. Poppy shoving Jinx, but not much going from there. HMG with a beautiful flash. He does get caught by the E, but he's going to take out Illaoi here. You got to believe. But of course she walks away. Here goes mid lane, tier 1 though. The Hawks, beautiful little set of plays there. Definitely got him back in this game. We're looking at somewhere around a 2k to 2.5k gold lead here. Or I should say deficit for the Hawks. But look at Jinx. 3.5 completed items here. And Jackal with the fancy moves once again, and he's going to speed out of there. But HMG is in a spot here where he can definitely carry this game. They've just got to keep, well, pretty much everybody on midway off of him. He's got a huge target on his back now. And it looks like Any Day going the absolute full AP Malphite here. And his job is just to delete somebody if possible. Unfortunately, that kind of build is pretty rough against an Illaoi who's just going to laugh at it. But he's not building for the 1v1 in the side lane here. He's definitely building for this team fight, because if he jumps on the back line, there's a potential to 100-0 Ashe. The Zodiac turns off the lights. Unfortunately, going full AP means your glass cannon, and he just gets popped. So HMG trying so hard to get out of this fight. Good flash by Zodiac there. Jackal's on the wing. He's got some damage. But HMG just can't get back into the fight. There's just no one to stand in front of him here. As you can see, 3 flashes blown by midway there trying to get to the Jinx. At this point, you gotta believe that the Baron's gonna go over. Jackal's nearby. He does have a long-range shot to potentially steal it with. Although I would be absolutely shocked if he hit this, because yeah, beating Smite it would be nearly impossible. So Ashe Arrow does connect. He might be in a little bit of trouble now. We've got the flash from Poppy there. Just unfortunate. So they are on the Infernal Soul. And Zodiac not going to be able to do anything to stop that. So now we're looking at about a 6.5k gold deficit. This one is going to be hard to overcome, even with the Fed Jinx. It's just really hard to protect. Now for the next team fight, you've got some flashes down. Pretty good chance that with a pick or something like that, you could look for something. The problem is, no real objectives on the map. You've got a Baron buff pushing right now in 2 different lanes. And who answers the Illaoi up top? Illaoi with the Baron buff is now your worst nightmare. Because a full AP Malphite isn't going to be able to fight her. It's just not going to happen. Just like before, it's going to take 3 people minimum. Good catch onto the Ashe. That's the beginning of a decent fight. Unfortunately, the follow-up here is just not looking very good. HMG's got some damage. So, Jackal here as well. They're going to try to fend off this push. Baron minions, though, very hard to clear. And unfortunately, it's just not going to work. So it's just HMG and Hero right now defending the base. Good sized wave coming in from the top side. What's that? Like that inhibitor's going to have to go down now. Zodiac turns off the lights. Wayne's gonna drop. Jinx is excited. She's gonna run Poppy down. And HMG coming in behind. There's the ult by any day. And the Jinx damage is good, but is it good enough? I believe it is. Alright. So that win con coming in clutch here. Just when you think the game might be lost, that second inhibitor was almost surely going to fall. And HNG taking that gold and slapping people around with it. So let's assess where we're at now. We're actually sitting at somewhere around an 8k gold deficit. Which seems kind of bleak. At 37 minutes, it's more about who's got what completed items. And now HMG, completely full build with the GA, exactly where you want the Jinx to be. When you look over at Ashe with 3 items, not very scary. More concerned about the Ashe ult than you are the Ashe autos at this point. Wayne, more fed than you'd like him to be. And the Illaoi, obviously, full build, big problem, split pushing top. The Baron buff is now gone, so no longer have to worry about that. The Infernal Soul inflates statistics a little bit here. So even though you're seeing what amounts to an 8k gold lead, that Infernal Soul is going to be worth a lot of gold in stats as well. So it could be more like a 10 or 12k depending on how that all pans out. But at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters. If Jinx starts free firing with those rockets in these team fights, and she can clean up the carries, I think the Hawks have a very good chance at winning a team fight. If they can't, I think it's just too big a gold difference. It's just a wallet diff. But Baron's coming up, less than a minute here. It's like the Hawks are going to come up look for some vision, as they should. It helps to be first on the scene here. Okay. So Scuttle Vision being probably the most important you can get at this point. But Midway's had a chance to come in and lay these wards. Now we're also going to have the Elder Dragon spawning here. And it looks like that's going to be their primary objective. So there's going to be a big fight here. The Hawks know they can't give this over. This buff is just too devastating, especially with an Infernal Soul already. And it's going to come down to this. Jinx with the GA. Unfortunately, already losing half her health. That Illo E is just disgusting. So any day in the bot lane, the Hawks are definitely going to have to get up there and quick. And here comes the flank. Just waiting for Zodiac to turn off the lights, probably waiting for it to drop to about 4K. Here we go. He's in. HMG free firing here from the outside. Not sure they're going to have the damage though. And that's probably it. Talia gonna ult in. The rest of the Midway team just gonna walk it down. And even though HMG survives there and got a chance to get some good damage off in that fight, unfortunately it just wasn't enough. With these death timers, he's gonna have to hold it by himself here. So one tower drops. Teleporting in. And that's it for game one. So really nice back and forth all game long. There did seem to be a little discrepancy there towards the end. The gold lead did inflate. It was a uphill battle for the Hawks. But I do think that it's pretty easy after a game like this to point out some of the things that went wrong. I think the AP Malphite is a great idea for the team fight, but they just didn't have good answers for the Illoy split push. Any day usually having a lot of lane dominance up top, really strong laner into split pusher later in the game. Here they put all the eggs in the Malphite team fight basket. And as it turns out, just didn't really have an answer for an Illoy split push. They did send 2 or 3 multiple times, even 5 at some times, up there to kill her. And as effective as that was, it just doesn't stop. It's almost like the Inting Scion strategy. If you just keep beating towers down with an Illoy that just becomes an insane raid boss, it just makes it too easy for Midway to go take a dragon in the meantime, or take another objective, or set up wave control so they can get vision. And so that split push strategy turned out to be, I think, the deciding factor here. Outside of that, really enjoyed HMG's Jinx. Very, very strong here. Zodiac looked good on the Nocturne. And I think the whole team looked pretty good at times. Just found themselves in a really tough spot.
Well, I think make some small minor adjustments in game 2. And we'll see how it goes. Probably going to take a short break, about 10 minutes, and we'll be right back.
All right, see you then.
looks like we're back with the draft.
Well, here we are, game 2, and it's exciting to see that the TF is taken off the table again. The Gen is taken off the table again by Midway. So those are picks they're just not going to give to our Hawks. The Maokai ban coming through, and I would expect potentially to see an Illaoi ban here. If I'm being honest, I don't think you give that back over unless you've got a really good answer for it. Still worried about that Blitzcrank. And there goes Malphite. So that tells me they're not intending to play the Illaoi. Banning the Malphite doesn't seem like the move if you're intending to play. Or maybe they're expecting the Illaoi ban to come through. And it's back to the Kled. So the ban strategy, at least in this first half, has not changed by the Hawks here. So Midway with first pick. This is where you could see a first pick Illaoi. But there's the Senna. Now, Senna did get banned. I don't remember if it was first or second round in that first game. So must be a priority pick for Midway. There is a bit of chance it could go either position down bot. You can pair it up with a Tom Kinch. You can pair it up with any AD carry. Pretty flexible, versatile pick there. So let's see what the response is going to be. Again, with the Amumu. And might just pair it with the Jinx again. I don't see why not at this point. You don't want the Jinx taken away. That definitely worked well in game 1. And the combination of Amumu Jinx was very solid. And there's that Veigar pick. So excited to see the Veigar. This is a Jackal special here for sure. As far as I know, he's practically undefeated on this champ. And when they play it, it's very strong. They also tend to lose against it as well. So the Talia in response. And that's definitely a similar matchup with a lot of skill expression there in the mid lane. But at least we know this time this is going to go mid. So it looks like this time we're seeing a Senna Swain instead of the Ashe. And that allows them now to pick the Jinx if they want it. And unless they have something else in mind, I think they go ahead and pick it here. That way they don't have to show what they're doing top. They certainly could flex that Amumu to jungle, but okay. So now we have a Zyra pick. There's something out of left field. Zyra can jungle. This is true. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know it's true. But more likely that would be a support. And that would move Amumu up to jungle. In all likelihood. No idea what Anyday's planning up top. So the Ornn ban comes through. Same as the first game. And likely Midway bans set as well. I think they did that in the first game. Because they've seen that Anyday's had some success with those champs. There's the Nocturne ban. So that's the only problem with not picking that early is it's able to be banned away here in the second round. Now, when you have a Zyra and an Amumu on the field, likely you already picked your jungler. But it looks like Midway is just as confused as I am as to who's going where, and I'm sure that's the point. These flex picks are really tricky, and they're thinking really hard here about this last man. So the Aatrox. And the Vayne ban doesn't surprise me either. HMG very good on the Vayne. And Vayne would love to lane with someone like a Zyra. Allow him to pretty well free farm. Now into Senna Swain. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if free farming is really a thing. But they are giving over the Jinx here. So apparently Midway did not think the Jinx was a problem. They have just completely let it through. Varus, another good example of a carry who can farm pretty well, do well into a Senna Swain. Not quite the hard carry late game. I guess there are some builds for that, but typically we've been seeing a lot of just full AD Varus, the kind of poke Varus with the lethality. So the Cassante is the response. This is the blind top here for Midway. And last pick, we're finally going to get to see what they're going to do in the jungle. Yeah, and it's the Poppy again. I would say they could flex the Talia, but it looks like it's going to be the Poppy once again. And the Olaf in response. So any day, not interested in just handing over top lane this time. The AP Malphite could not fight for that split push, but Olaf absolutely can. Olaf into Cassante, very interesting fight. I honestly don't know who's favored in that matchup, but I imagine early it would be Olaf, and then later very skill dependent, as Cassante can't ult an ulted Olaf through a wall or anything like that to displace him. But that being said, we've got our game 2 team comps here, and if I had to grade them both, I'd say, well, you've got the Senna scaling for Midway. Most of the rest of the comp is more of like a mid-game team comp. And you've got the really hardcore Veigar scaling for the Hawks here. Also a lot of zone control. Good engage. All kinds of tools for them. Poke as well. I'm going to have to give my highest marks over here to the Hawks for this draft. I think they were innovative here. They definitely pulled that Veigar out. And I was looking for that the last time. And gave away the Senna. So that's kind of the give and take here. Is they didn't want to see that Maokai, they didn't want to see that Blitzcrank. They gave away the Senna, and now it's going to be up to Midway to show them why they had to ban that in the first place. So they're going to lock them in here, and the game should start here in about 5 minutes or so. So we're going to take a quick break till then, and I'm going to go grab a snack. I'll catch you in 5.
Impure fools.
All right, and we are back on the Rift. So a must-win situation here for the Hawks. The first game did not go so well. Really close up until 20 some odd minutes, and then it started to go downhill, and the slide just continued into an Infernal Soul, a Baron, and then eventually just the ace that ended the game. Here we've got another spread out, no level 1 shenanigans. And once again, I think we're going to have both junglers starting on the bot side and just pathing up. So similar to the last time, neither team seems to have a lot of information on the other.
Minions have spawned.
So one of the things I like most about level 1 invades is not necessarily that you're going to go in and kill a bunch of people and make a bunch of gold, but you do get a lot of information. It's not that jungler can't change his path or starting position after you walk in there, but if you can get a nice deep ward. Oh, good trade here for any day. Olaf loves the level 1. And Cassante already half health there. So great start up top. I think the last thing you want to do as a Cassante is just walk into a bush where an Olaf might be sitting. And he's just going to cook him. So Cassante is just zoned here. Great job by Any Day here in the top. So this time, instead of seeing the Amumu looking for engages here in the bot, you're going to see the Zyra poke over and over. And with Varus and Zyra together, you get a lot of nice poke. Senna has a little bit of sustain. And Senna plus Swain together can lock somebody down for a long time and beat up on them. So definitely some counterplay as well, but this is definitely going to be a different dynamic than we saw in the last game. And so Any Day just shoving it in. Reminiscent of how the Iloe shoved in the Malphite in the last game. And now he gets to come down and just mess with Poppy as she's going for her blue buff. And it's going to reset. And he's done his job. Cassante has to leave the wave here. And so here comes Zodiac. He's going to come over too. There's not going to be any sort of steal, but Poppy is going to have to run. And so the Hawks being the aggressors this time around. So Hero out of mana down here on the Zyra. But they have established a good push. It's at this point that you'd be really hoping for a nice back. But it looks like he's eating his biscuit here. And they're going to stick around. Any Day popping Ghost, he wants an all-in, and he's going to try to run him down. And there's Zodiac. Sante with the push. And he's going to have to Ghost as well. So, pretty good gank, all being told there. Zodiac committing the flash. Now Any Day really thinking he can finish him. Camera pints away. HMG in trouble. He had to flash as Poppy decided to go bot here. So cross map pressures. And the Hawks are hoping to get Any Day ahead up there in the top lane. Looks like they're going to try to get a reset here. Hero needs to dodge this. It's getting a little dicey. Poppy's coming around from the backside. She's got the push. HMG no flash. And that was just a bit of an overstay. So now Poppy's looking to start the dragon up. Zodiac in the area, but he's not going to have any friends. Jackal has TP, but he's not going to be able to get over there in time. They're likely going to have to get up this dragon. Zodiac stepped a little too close. And they get the trade. Jackal with the flashed ult. And a good job of trading one off there. Dragon gets secured by Midway. And at this point, I think it's over. So Gold dead even. Any day misses the axe, he's going to lose the 1v1. That's unfortunate. As Olaf, you've got to hit those axes and pick them up. That's where the majority of his damage is going to come from there. So Cassante getting that lead up top. Jackal looking for a little harass. Unfortunately, he does not have his ult right now. And Hero's coming up to harass as well. There's Zodiac. He gets the catch. There's the flash. There's some plants. Oh, excellent gank there. So the Hawks coordinating some really nice stuff here in the mid. Now, who did that kill go over to? We'll have to check that in a moment. And Zodiac and Hero both starting on those Void Grubs. They don't want to give up all 6 like they had to in the first game. And there you have it. Taking the first 3 is huge. Now you don't actually have to worry about the other 3 if you don't want to. Obviously, they'd love to be the ones getting 4. And they do have a 300 gold lead at this point. Don't let the kills affiliate you here because 3-2.
Oh yeah!
And we look at the CS number, so it looks like that kill did go over to Zodiac in that last fight. Any day taking too many tower shots there, and that's just unfortunate. Looks like Zodiac's going to run out of room here as well. But when you get aggressive with that Olaf ult, if the Cassante waits it out and you run him towards their tower, he can do exactly what he did and just ult him back in the tower, and now Olaf's taking multiple tower shots. So here comes the Swain ult. Nothing doing there. So that might have been popped prematurely. But just a very volatile bot lane situation. HMG rooted up. But then Senna is too. She's going to have to flash. And that's a big win for the Hawks. Senna's still low. Any day throwing down. Here comes Poppy. He's going to have to pop ult here. Oh, he doesn't have it. Unfortunately, he's just going to get beat up. He's just seconds away from having ult, and that's exactly what he needed to get out of that. So here comes Zodiac again. He gets the ult down. Jackal's got just enough damage there, and they take him down. And it looks like Jackal's going to end up getting a plate mid here. And HMG would love to get this plate, but I don't think he gets another auto off for free. All in all, we're looking at about 800 gold difference. There's a Swain flash. He's got Zyra. So Hero's going to drop here. The flash ignite is going to be enough to get him. And Poppy's on this bottom side, and they're going to be looking at this Drake. So it's going to be spawning in under a minute. Meanwhile, Hero running back out on the map. Looks like Poppy's not going to go there directly. They don't have all the vision they need. And with Zodiac in the area and Senna backing, there's actually a possibility now where the Hawks can take this Drake. They're in position for it. Talia's moving over. Yeah, if HMG recalls there, they're just gonna have to wait. Another big crawl in the top lane, but once again, as soon as Any Day pops ult, he's good to go. But he had to back off before it stopped, or else he would just get ulted directly back. And here it looks like the throwdown is going to happen. And there's the ult. And with dashes, I just don't see how he gets out of that. Yeah. Sante, a very dangerous champ to try to fight. To man fight like that. So there's the flash off of Talia. So these Vagar walls, very effective. Oh, it was good poke, but then quickly turned around and HMG has to flash just to avoid getting completely destroyed. But that is the Senna ult down. And Zodiac is walking down this way. He's spotted on a ward. And it looks like they're going to be trading. Because Midway is taking the Void Grubs right now. If the Hawks can take this Drake, that's going to be a really solid trade for them. Especially when you're down 2k like this. You must take what you get. There's a flash. The Hawks are smelling blood in the water here. Good ult. That Varus ult locks down the Swain, and he's going to get taken out. And that's Drake plus a kill for the Void Grubs. And bot lane's going to get a nice push here. And they'll definitely get this tower plate. Any Day in a little bit of trouble. Poppy with the speed is going to have a wall slam shortly. There's the knock-up in the Talia wall. And Any Day just finding himself in some tough situations here. So here Zodiac is going to be sitting in a bush down bot, looking for the lane gank. And let's see if he can just catch this Senna asleep. And there's the ult. Gonna lock her down with a bandage toss. And it's a double kill. How clean. So you gotta love those lane ganks. When they work out, they're amazing.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Speaking of amazing, look at this Amumu skin. Does it not look like R2-D2? Am I crazy? I think he's supposed to be a porcelain mummy, but I'm not seeing that. The whole porcelain skin line is kind of weird to me. I don't know why people wear so much porcelain, but when you put it on a tiny little mummy, it just looks like R2-D2 with legs. So here Midway has started up the Rift Herald. Now Any Day's coming down, but I don't think there's any way he does anything about this. Zodiac is on his red buff. They're gonna have to give this one over. Any Day hoping not to get run down here. Sante all out from the very start. He pops ult, he's running. Unfortunately, just a little too late again. Good ult by HMG. Good lockdown on the Senna. Jackal TP's in, he's got the kill. And here it is again, another double kill down bot. So HMG burning down, but he's going to survive. And the only thing here to take really is just pressure this tower. But that's 2 double kills in a row in the bot lane. And as you can see, the gold lead now, just a meager 1.5k. And that's going to be even smaller when this tower drops.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So meanwhile, Cassante invading the jungle up here on the top side. Rift Herald spawned in the mid lane. Poppy's taking it for a ride. And it looks like that mid lane turret's going to go down. Good cage by Jackal again. Zodiac considers engaging here, but he's thinking better of it. So luckily no charge on the tier 2. Olaf free farming up in the top lane now, getting free damage on this tower. Looks like he's proxying the next wave. So the Cassante roam doesn't result in anything. I mean, they do get the tower, but now Olaf's given a chance to even do a little counter jungling of his own. So hopefully he doesn't get spotted out here. And there it is, it looks like he just dies for it. So unfortunate once again. But any day is just absolutely relentless. You can kill him all you want. He's not going to stop coming into your jungle, taking your camps, and trying to fight you 1v1. He's just not going to stop. And if you saw what that Malphite gave, he can make things happen. So here, Dragon about to spawn. It's 1-to-1 in the Dragon count, so stacking is not a great win condition for either team at this point. But at least the Hawks in first division, and if you look at this mini-map, they're just scattering wards all over the place. Every entrance. So flash for flash there, and here comes Talia. Looks like Zodiac's in a world of trouble. So midway with the pick. Jackal kind of caught on the wrong side of this dragon here. But he has a lot of damage. If HMG's not careful, he gets run down here by the Cassante. Yeah, not much to be done there, unfortunately. Zyra late to the fight.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Jackal's still in an awkward position here. But with the help of Zyra, maybe they've got something. And they'll take him down. Here comes Poppy. Jackal gets stunned against the wall.
Shut down.
And there's Poppy's flash. So still a good trade. And we're still looking at a 1k gold deficit here. And see, here's Any Day just flexing on these guys in the 1v2. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You can try to hold him down. But every once in a while he just gets angry and just runs at your face and beats you up, so... I don't think they're going to disrespect him like that again. And with that we have a near even game. 300 gold difference between the two teams. 3 Void Grubs per. You've got 2 Dragons to 1 on the side of midway. But if we look at the scaling here, Jackal's Vhagar is going to be insane very soon. He's already at 2 items. Unfortunately, it looks like Any Day is in a rough spot again. And that's when you don't have ult. He just used it in the mid lane. Cassante gets to throw you through a wall, and Zodiac can get there in time. So one thing about this game is you've got a Poppy and a Cassante who love to fight next to walls. Not Vhagar walls, but normal walls there. And Cassante does not have his all out. So it looks like Jackal's rotating up. And Baron is about to spawn. Don't believe either team is all that interested in that objective just yet. The gold is way too even. So there's the Talia wall. She is locked down, and she's going to get deleted. So what an ult right there by HMG. Unfortunately, he's the one that gets deleted, but what an ult as she went by. That is a hard skill shot to hit. Now Hero in trouble. Zodiac caught in the middle of it. So this could turn into a Baron here. Midway is definitely walking in that direction. Let's see if they can control the vision. Because Any Day is more than willing to face check a bush if he needs to. And with Jackal's damage, they could definitely look to fight this. So good wall, there's the all out. Oh, unfortunate, Jackal does go down. They do take Cassante out. Baron's starting to get low. Is there a world where they can actually contest this? Here comes Zodiac from the backside of the pit. If he can get in there, he can smite this. He's coming in. Unfortunately, they don't win the smite fight, but they are going to take Poppy down.
Shut down.
And so that's 3 down. So Baron buff on 2. And if Sin is not careful, she's dropping as well here. So Baron buff only left on Talia at this point. Olaf free hitting on the tier 1 top.
Blue team's
And
turret
Dragon's
has
up.
been
So at this
destroyed.
point, not the best for the Hawks, but they'll take those kills. Gold lead 1.5k. This one not the most important dragon, but I do imagine that they'll be fighting for it.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Jackal looking for blood here. Here comes Hero. Almost gets him with the one shot, but Hero is there in time. So they kill the last person with the Baron buff. And yeah, Talia is pinging that Zyra came up and blew everything Vhagar are. But you're the only person that has the Baron buff. So if you're going to split to the side like that without vision, that's what's going to happen. So great trade by the Hawks. And at this point, the gold is almost even. Hawks a little late to this dragon fight, but they haven't quite decided not to go in. It's now or never. Here comes Jackal. Unfortunately, Cassante had the flank. They had to give it up. So now Any Day pushing in the top lane. It looks like the... Okay. Little screen freeze, but we're back. So at least for now, you've got Olaf splitting top, Cassante splitting bot, Talia sticking around that top lane. And here comes Poppy and Swain, and they're looking for Jackal. Oh, what a wall. And that was the Poppy flash into the Vhagar wall, so beautifully done there. And now Midway's trying to overload this bot side. They don't have a wave, so they're just looking for a fight. Good ult by Hero. HMG locks down Cassante only momentarily. He's down. But Any Day's in, and he's turning this fight around. Well, that's a good scoop. It's just Jackal left.
Blue team double kill.
Ooh. And the 3 for 5 trade there. So it started pretty promising. Turned out Cassante just too tanky to kill right there. Talia getting a really good scoop on multiple people as well. So they're going to be threatening both of these tier 2s. I don't think there's anything that the Hawks can do about it at this point. Luckily, no big objectives on the map.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And that's going to swing the gold a little bit. So let's look at some item completions here. Jackal's still on 2.5. You've got 3 items on HMG right now. Feeling really strong on that Varus. Really good poke. Olaf and Cassante both sitting on 2.5. Cassante fed as he can be right now with 10 kills. So he's going to be a menace for sure. Very difficult to take down. He just hit his 3rd item back in base. And with Kanek Rookern, it's going to be a lot harder for Jackal to do damage to him. That being said, we have a pretty close game. The Hawks are going to have to fight for this next dragon. We're looking at a Chemtech Soul here. So Baron spawning in just 1 minute. Not a lot of vision for the Hawks. Most of their vision being on the bottom side. Zodiac gonna try to walk out of this one. Another good cage. Oh, and a great flash ult there. So Swain ult down. Traded essentially for the Veigar ult. But without the Talia, you gotta believe that the Hawks are in a really good position for this next objective. And it looks like Midway is heading up towards that Baron. It's about to spawn, and the Hawks are not in position to stop anything. Looks like they do have a ward in the pit, so they would be aware if it started. HMG getting his reset. And Hero up there to try to get a little bit more vision. Dragon going to be spawning very soon as well. And like I said, this is the one that they've got to take, so they really don't want to give up a Baron or a Soul at this point. So a team fight is imminent. But both teams have reset, and they're looking for it. So it looks like Dragon is now on the map. Both teams jockeying for position. Hero's got to be careful going into this bush. And they sprung the trap. So now a 5v4. This is going to be tough, but I don't think they can just give this up. Zodiac trying to get in the middle of it. Good wall. Zodiac's got to get on that dragon. He gets booted out of the pit, and this is an abort. Here comes Talia ult. Jackal and Zodiac both caught out here. HMG ulting. Cassante not slowing down with the unstoppable. He goes under the tower. Takes any down and flashes back over the wall. Excellent flash there. And the Hawks are just holding on. So bots here too gonna fall here. Poppy had wrapped around, so that was a no-win situation. And now we've got a 4.5k gold lead. Or should I say deficit for the Hawks. The Soul's gone over to Midway. And now the big objective is going to be Baron. It looks like Midway's heading there right now. The Hawks are certainly aware of this. Looks like they do have a ward in the pit. And they're heading that way as well. Jackal's going to catch that wave top, and then they're going to have to collapse here. The Baron threat just too too strong at this point. So any day on the bot side, Zodiac getting caught out here, unfortunate. And that's probably going to be a free Baron at this point. Yeah, HMG's just backing. And any day is just going to split push the bot lane for as long as they let him. So really tricky play there. So essentially what you get is, if Olaf shows on the bot hand side, they're going to start, because he'll never get there in time. But to make matters worse, they had the vision in the topside jungle. Zodiac walks into the vision, and once he's off the map, and there's no chance at a smite, and no Amumu engage. And essentially all you have is a free Baron from midway. So they're going to be shoving in here. They got their brand new Baron buff with the soul buff as well. This is a difficult push to stop here. A good wave clear by HMG here. Not the best siege by midway. Senna, very long range, especially at this point in the game. Swain definitely, along with Cassante, could be looking to dive. They're going to take this tower. They're likely going to take this inhibitor as well. And with these Baron minions, they're just going to keep pushing on the Nexus towers here. Jackal's stunned. He's still alive for now. He drops HMG in trouble. Cassante going wild. Swain's joined the party as well. The Zodiac drops here. HMG trying desperately to save the base. Oh, and he takes Swain with him, but that's going to be the game. No one left up on the Hawk side to stop this push. So unfortunately an 0-2 today. GG to midway. They definitely played really well. And what a banger series. I mean, our boys came out to fight today.
They did.
So you got to hand it to the top laner from midway. Definitely crushed it with the Illaoi in the first game, and here in the second game, going 15-2 with the Cassante. Definitely put the team on his back and just drug him across the finish line there. So props to him. But good job to the boys here. As you can see, the carries stepped up and did some serious damage. Got some really strong performances across the board here. Really happy with Jackal's Veigar there. I like the Amumu flex. The Olaf pick didn't work out as well as they liked, but I like that they tried it, and any day never back down. Not gonna soon forget his 1v2 in the mid lane there, where he just walked up and destroyed him with the disrespect. But other than that, I mean, a good set of games here. Unfortunately, they're 0-2 for the day, and that puts them 0-2 series-wise for the season. But excited to see what they come up with next week after another good week of practice and scrims.
Most definitely.
So
with that, or do you have any final thoughts, Jackie?
I'll just say that, I think in week one, I really felt like they should have won that series. It was so close. I felt like they should have won that series. This week felt a little bit tougher. I feel like this opponent specifically, especially the way that their top laner was playing over at midway, I felt like this was going to be a big challenge for him, and it turned out to be just that. But, like I said, excited to see him in the future. I know that they've, after watching them last semester, I know that they've got what it takes to get these wins and make the playoffs. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Really excited about seeing some of these new picks, and had a good time.
Me too. So I think that's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. We will be back next week, Wednesday at 7:30, where your Red Hawks will be playing in week 3. So I think that's going to do it for tonight. I want to thank my co-host, Jackie Pancakes, for doing amazing commentary as always. And
Thank you, sir.
we're
And
gonna
appreciate everybody watching.
Yep, appreciate everybody. We will see you next week.
Have a good night.